What's going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today is JUJUTSU Kaisen Chapter 2. Let's get to it. Chapter starts off with Usami and Mino talking about how to approach the situation with the Sumerians. Mino wonders if it's okay to meet with them without wearing the COVID mask or something, because they don't really know if the Sumerians have a disease that would affect humans if they come into contact. Usami goes on to say, when dealing with someone whose religion, language, history, and culture are all unknown, trying to treat them like a pathogen is the quickest way to start an all-out war. And to be honest with you, I see both sides of the argument, because they really are an unknown in every way, shape, and form. As the chapter continues, we meet Jabba, Roma, and Cross, the twin brother of Maru. Not gonna lie, I keep hearing the theory that Cross is Yuji and Maru is Sukuna, just with the roles reversed, and I don't believe that. Cause remember in chapter 271, when Sukuna is talking to Mahito, it's obvious Sukuna didn't become a good guy. He just changed his ideals after finally losing to Yuji. Well, let me explain. In the end, Sukuna's choice was to face death on his own terms, rather than live within Yuji's body. He was offered the chance to continue living, but would be a prisoner within Yuji's body, unable to exist outside of it. Sukuna's desire to live according to his own metrics and rules was a central theme throughout the entire series, and he ultimately chose to live his life as he desired, even if it meant facing death. So in this situation, no, Maru isn't Sukuna, it's Yuji, and Cross is Sukuna. Also, I don't want you guys to ever forget this. Yuji said even if no one else accepts it, he is willing to go on living with Sukuna. Alright y'all, let's get back on track. We learned that Usami is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and that the aliens can speak Japanese as well as English, which shocks both Usami and Mino. We then see that Jabba Roma has requested for their representative to be present for the discussion, and that they wanted to make sure to let Japan know that there was no ill intentions or hostility on their part. But as Jabba finishes speaking, we see a massive figure appear at the doorway. And let me tell you guys, it's all starting to make sense why this is a Sukuna level threat. Usami goes on to say, if they were serious, they could bring down our country easily. Our position is apparent. Mino goes on to say, so we're just gonna say thank you for not invading us? Which is a very, very valid question to ask, I'm not gonna lie to you. As the chapter continues, Usami begins to break down the mission parameters, which is that the Sumerian envoy have to hide the fact that they are aliens and have them accompany sorcerers in their institutions and on missions. He then names Yuka and Tsurugi as the people for the job. But bro, on the next panel, we see Cross standing in front of the representative from earlier, and oh my god, the man got LeBron genetics. We then switch gears to Tsurugi and Yuka having a conversation about the aliens. Tsurugi goes on to say, even if Maru is an alien, that means it's not the stage yet where such information should be revealed to us at the lowest level. Which makes sense since the higher ups keep everything on the hush-hush to prevent civil unrest. So Yuka and Tsurugi decide they need more information and go back to ask the kidnapper a few more questions. For example, where did he get the intel in the first place about the aliens? So basically, he stole the information using AI. Yuka then says, are we just assuming aliens exist now? The kidnapper goes on to say, you're a sorcerer, aren't you? Will someone whose livelihood depends on the supernatural deny the supernatural itself? Ooh, he cooking. He is cooking. He goes on to say what we the reader already know. It's 50,000 aliens on the ship, and that it's a barrier technique akin to a curtain that's hiding the ship. He then gives them a location to travel to so they can see for themselves. Man, we cooking this chapter. I don't care what y'all say, we cooking. As Yuka and Tsurugi are traveling up the mountain, Yuka sees her ring on Tsurugi's neck, which prompts him to say he's not giving it back. Grandma was treated like a loser in the 3 great clans, but she didn't give up and silenced everyone with her skills. Yuka goes on to say, hold on now bro, didn't she kill everyone? Like, I'm gonna need you to like relax. Yuka goes on to have a little internal monologue. It says, we've both been chasing our own truths. I've always wanted him to give me the ring back, and he's always wanted to return the ring to me. We wanted to become stronger for that reason, which kind of does not make sense at all. Like, he could have just gave you the ring back and proved that he was strong without it. But the fact that they're making it such a a big like plot point, kind of crazy to me right now. As the chapter comes to a conclusion, we see the Sumerian spaceship, and gang, it's massive. I'm talking about multiple Statue of Liberties type of big. We then go on to finally see Maru's twin brother Cross, who is very much just as cold as Sukuna was. Cross goes on to say Maru will continue to work alongside the sorcerers of Earth, and if they can't share a judgment on what's right and what's wrong, it's meaningless. Maru goes on to say Earthlings are no different from them. It's both good and bad people. Cross goes on to say Maru's feelings or opinion in this situation, they don't matter. Opinions are divided amongst the Sumerians for whether to have conflict with the humans or live in coexistence, which is kind of crazy. Maru says conflict cannot be an option. He tells Maru to continue doing his job to avoid that outcome then. As their conversation comes to an end, Maru asks Cross to join him for breakfast in the morning, which Cross coldly denies and tells him he's busy while vanishing into the darkness. We then see Cross standing on top of a building, looking over the city. When Tsurugi pulls up on him thinking he's his twin brother Maru, Cross tells him to shut up and not to speak to him. Remember, Tsurugi doesn't know Maru has a twin yet, so this whole scene was very fun and very fire, and I felt like it was gonna set up their rivalry in the future. Like, if Maru joins us and becomes a homie, then I'm gonna say that the brother, Cross, I'm gonna say he's 100% gonna be on the opposite sides of the field. More, actually, let me say it like this. If Maru is an optimist, then Cross is a realist. So, whereas Maru is looking at everything with bright eyes, hopeful, and shit like that, similar to Yuji, Cross is looking at it from a vantage point of somebody who's like logic, who's thinking logically. So, I can't wait to see what they got cooking with JJJ and Modulo. Is it Modulo or Modelo? Man, look, Jujutsu Kaisen 3, Modelo. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, bro, like, comment, and subscribe. Be fucking dynamic. I love y'all. Peace.